speaking of dubs, we've had a lot of them in the AHL this season. The team just clinched a playoff spot. And now joining us here on the show, always an Arty Party here on the show when we talk about Arturs Silovs, but now he is here for an Arty Party here on the show. Arturs, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I need to ask off the top. I heard you guys had an incredible meal last night at Jetwoo's family restaurant. What was the best meal? What was the best thing you ate at Jetwoo's family restaurant last night?
For me, I think it was like everything was like amazing. There was like a rice dish. There was like chicken was like really good. Desserts were really good. So I think overall the dinner was like really, really nice, and we're all really thankful to his family to hosting us to their restaurant.
That's awesome. Did you guys make Jet be a waiter? Like, was he moving around getting everybody waters and stuff like that?
Sort of, but it was more family doing that.
I think it's cool because like I mentioned you and Jet there, a couple of really young guys on this team. How cool has that been for Abbotsford, who I felt like was a pretty young team last year? Feels like you guys are even younger this year. How much fun is it to be a young guy in the mix here with these young players?
I think it's great because like there's not a big age difference, right? So I think it's easier to just get together, right? Because it's just like we are all like pretty similar at some point, and like mentally, and it's like just easier to communicate and just become friends and teammates, right?
I think that's the interesting thing because there's been a lot of success with the young players too. Like, how much does that just make it easier? Like being, as a team coming together, you guys are also young and it's not like you have a lot of pro experience, but you guys have been able to have success. How helpful has that been for development?
I think it's like really good for development. It's like every single game is different, right? So it's like getting a new experience every single time and like managing to, let's say, not win only like 2, 3 games, even extend like, let's say, to 5, 6 games, right? It still takes a lot of stuff to do that. Like even winning in this league, it's not easy winning, right? It's always a grind. It's you always have to be on the edge. So it takes everyone to win the games.
That's awesome, man. We haven't had a chance to, like, I talk to you post game sometimes here. We see you in the post games out in Abbotsford, but I've never had a chance to just like ask you some younger questions about growing up. So I got to ask one about hockey and just say, why would you want to be a goalie? Because I feel like that's the position that I would not want to be around. I don't want pucks coming at me. Why did you want to be a goalie when you were a kid?
Uh, for me, it was like a different story because like I was a forward before. Like we didn't have a goalie in our team, so everyone was trying out as a goalie, and for me, I guess it worked out, right? And that's how I became a goalie.
So how old was that when you were like, I can't be a forward anymore. I'll be the goalie.
Like 8, 9 years old, I think. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well,
somewhere like
that
that.
was so I had a younger brother and I was like, hey, you should be a goalie. It'd be fun. But it was nice for me because I had a goalie to shoot on every time. So I was wondering if you had like an older brother or maybe that was why you became a goalie.
No, no, no.
Um, so Arturs, there's been a lot of changes for you over the past year. You're getting an opportunity to play a ton out in Abbotsford, a lot of starts for you. What are you most proud of over the past 12 months? The last 1 year, there's been so much that's happened for you. What are you most proud of right now?
I just thinking like that I'm capable, like playing, winning the games, and like that my skill asset is growing, and like I know I'm becoming more confident in the crease, knowing like what is my like strengths, right? So I think just understanding yourself even more at this stage, it's like even better, right?
Mm. And with a new coach coming in, how has it been to kind of like I remember looking back in the first game I saw Jeremy Colleton coach was in Penticton. You had a shutout. I was thinking, man, he's gonna like you. You got a shutout in the first game playing in front of them. What's it been like with your relationship with the new coach?
It was really good. I think like there's like a lot of opportunities given, right? And like for a team, I think he's a really good coach. Like we're playing structure, like we're doing like a lot of stuff, which like it's like it's like calm, I would say. It's never like
Hmm.
too aggressive speaking. Like there's like a couple of coaches who like to scream, like at least in back in Europe. But yeah, he's like really calm and like, and I really like that actually. And I think it just makes you think like, okay, you have to be better on the next period and try to win the game by like can you hear me?
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
got you there.
my my AirPod dropped.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, with Colton, it's been interesting because in some post games I've noticed, like I'm sure he's pretty firm with you guys after a tough game as well, and I've seen a couple of them out there in Abbotsford. But at the same time, you mentioned it's maybe nice. Is it more, constructive of him kind of teaching after a bad game because the bad games are going to happen. It's going to be something that happens, and you mentioned it. Some people will yell at you. Some people will teach you. It sounds like Jeremy's more of a teacher in those moments, and more than a yeller, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's better to be a teacher in that moment because, as you said before, we have so many young guys, right? And it's like just the beginning of the careers of many players, and I think it's like really important to understand the basics of the game. And like, let's say every single coach has like a different vision, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's good to have like our head coach's vision and play by it.
Growing up, Arty, when you were in Latvia playing there, what it feels like, it's like a goalie hotbed at times. There are some goalies that come out of Latvia. Is that something that's just known for you back home? Like everybody wants to be an NHL goaltender because it feels like that's where your country pumps out people. It's goaltenders. Like you guys pump out some really good goaltenders at the World Juniors and situations like that. We see a Latvian goalie, steal a game against Canada or whatever it is. It's a lot of fun. What is it like? Like, what's the thoughts about goalies back home?
Uh, I just think like we don't really like take it too seriously at the beginning when you really started, right? And I think it's like all the development stuff comes later when you're like teenage years old, right? Somewhere
Mhm.
there. And I think there's like a lot of good goalie coaches we have. Like maybe we don't have, let's say, the best technique that what North America offers, right? But
Yeah.
I think there's still like a basis to make just like the point to make a save, right?
Yeah, and that's something that I feel like I'm not a goalie guy. I'm not a goalie coach. I don't know perfection up to goalie stuff, but I want to ask you, like you said it a little bit earlier, feeling a little bit more confident that you could do the job, and I have to think that that's something that's changed in your game a lot over the past year. How much confidence do you have making a save this year compared to last year? Just confident, just simply going out there and making saves. It feels like you look more confident in the rink there.
Uh, it's a big difference. It's a like I would say huge difference. Like I played like so many games this year already, and it's like there's like it's boosting your confidence, boosting your understanding of shooters, like in this league, and it just makes easier for myself to understand. Okay, somewhere I have to be just more, let's say, patient, right?
Mm.
But when you're like, let's say, new to the league, you're short of you're like on adrenaline all the time, and you're trying to like jump over like to a lot of saves, which makes like difficult after save,
Right.
which can cause
Right.
like some trouble.
I wanted to ask about the new goaltender coach in Abbotsford as well with Marco Terenius. You talked about, some guy, and he's a guy who's come from Europe. He's been all around, it feels like, everywhere in Europe. What's it been like this year? Because I heard a lot of good things from you and Mikey last year about Curtis Sanford and him getting a great opportunity with Toronto. That's good for him. But what's it been like having Marco come in, and like what is the day to day that you guys have as a relationship?
I think it's been really good. Like different goalie coach, different experience. I think it's like it, you know, like in goaltending, I think there's like only on the small things you can really work on because like everyone is like different. Everyone's stance is different. Everyone's like athleticism is different, right? And I feel like it's just about like small things which like can make a big role in like in your game.
And that's the thing that Marco's been so good at is just keeping you on track with those small things you're kind of saying there.
Yeah. And like giving advices what to do maybe better, right?
Mm, right,
And
most definitely.
I think it's like, yeah, it's like I think he's been like a really good coach for me.
Good. And it seems like a guy who has a good relationship with Ian Clark, and that's probably why Ian wanted to bring him in here as somebody who works side by side. How much is it? I talk about the goalie coach, but the Canucks like to call it a goaltending department. It sounds like how much of it is about having Ian and Marco be involved with you in your development.
I think it's awesome. Like, working with like top tier goalie coaches,
Mm.
it's always like the best, I think. And it's like taking all the information, all the knowledge they have and translate it to your game. I think it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, most definitely. An amazing thing that I think you want to see this season is some playoff games in Abbotsford. How much of a letdown was it last year to not give your home fans some playoff games, and how bad do you guys want to do it this year?
For sure, this year we want to do that at home. We want to like push it through, right? We want to make sure we play quality hockey and win the games. So I think it's like really good challenge for us as a group. Like last year, it didn't really happen for us, but I think this year is like really good opportunity.
Hmm. Do you think that there's more pressure or excitement? Which one do you guys are more for going into the playoffs here? Because last year, you guys, the 2-game sweep was tough. Is there pressure from last year, or is there excitement because this is a new team here?
I think it's excitement. It's like we're bringing good energy every single day to like even practices. So I think I think everyone should be excited to play. Like it's like really time which matters in the hockey season.
Mm-hmm. With earlier this season, you get a run in the NHL. Um, Talk me through the first start. What was the day like? Like, did you have butterflies in your stomach all day, or were you excited for what was it like when you knew you were getting that NHL start?
Uh, it was really excited. I was nervous too because I was like, okay, I'm playing against like NHL team. Like it's always been like like you always wanted to be there. So like great opportunity and great like teacher, let's say, that game.
Yeah.
And it
But
just like yeah,
I gotta think it's just it's such a cool moment for us in the media to watch because that's a dream come true for you. I'm sure it must have been like, what was your phone like after the game? Did you have a million text messages? What was it like?
yeah, it was like a lot of text messages like congratulations to making debut in NHL.
Mhm.
And it's like really excited. Like I'm always excited about playing hockey. It's always been the thing. And like
When you got to come up to the NHL, when I'm at practice, I see this, how much work Ian likes to get before practice, before morning skates, a little bit of time after, has the talk with the goalies, all that stuff. How nice was it to just get there in person with Ian a little bit and get some time this year to work with him? I'm sure you guys were doing, similar things with him and Marco, but to be there with Ian again a little bit at the NHL level, how nice was that?
it's always good to work with Ian. There's always things like I can do better or maybe change sometimes, right? And
Mhm.
I think it's like as a good teacher, right? Good
Right.
mentor uh, who can like lead you to the right path.
That's good. And it seems like you need to just buy into the system and it works for goalies. I'm, looking at you, the way you've changed your game a little bit, it feels like you've really been able to buy in to what Ian Clark is doing there. How nice is it to be kind of on the same page with a goalie coach? I'm sure throughout your life, you've had goalie coaches that maybe you didn't agree with everything, but it feels like you guys are locked in. You guys are on the same page, how you're developing right now.
I think it's like really good. Like for me, like as a young guy who got drafted here, I was like really excited, and I knew I had to be like a sponge, right? Listen
Mhm.
all this details, all the stuff I could learn, and then later on try to use it in my game.
Mhm. I remember the summer after you're drafted, training camp was in Victoria. That was our first kind of look at you in Canucks jerseys. What do you remember? Because that's a few years ago now. It's kind of crazy to think about. What do you remember from that training camp in Victoria? Because you were so young at the time, Arty.
Actually, I don't really remember much. That's the thing. I just remember like landscape of Victoria, but like practices, not really.
Kind of just all a big blur, eh? Like getting in the NHL time. And
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
18 at the time. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I was supposed to ask you this. Some of the guys mentioned you're a sneaky, extremely good video game player, I've heard. So what's your game, Arty? I've been told you're one of the best at a couple of them, but what's your best game?
Um, I would say Counter-Strike, Global Offensive.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
pretty fun game to,
I haven't touched the
yeah,
Counter
play
Strike in
some.
years. It's still good, eh?
Yeah, it is good. It's fun to play with
Okay.
friends, you know. You don't see your friends often, let's say from hometown. So it's nice to connect together, like speak around, like so it's fun.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm the same. I got every night at 9 o'clock. Me and my buddies, same three guys. We're playing, and it's nice to see some friends from back home. Is do you have a regular time? Like, are you able to get back with some friends back home with the time change? I'm sure it might be difficult.
Uh, they live in North America right now, so it's
Oh,
not too
good,
hard to manage that.
nice. Well, aside from the video games, I've heard that traveling's a big thing that apparently you like. What are some of the places that you've traveled to that you've really enjoyed in your young age here, Artie?
Uh, like I traveled a lot when I was like younger, when it was like hockey things, but
Mm,
now I just started to do like vacations and other that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Uh, I'm just always excited about summer. You know, it's fun time. You have to relax from the hockey, take your mind off, and just enjoy yourself for a couple of months.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm sure the next couple months are going to be a ton of fun before the summer here with you guys getting a playoff run moving ahead. So we're excited to watch that. And I can't let you go, Artie, without showing you. So when we talk about you on the show, and we talk about Abbotsford quite a bit, we have a theme song. It's called the Arty Party theme
Okay.
song. Well, I'm going to play it for you. I need you to rank it out of 1 to 10, okay? So here it is.
Okay.
This is our Arty Party. A lot of people are calling it an Arty Party when you're in that.
I like that.
All right, so 1 out of 10, Arty. What do you think for the Arty Party music? Do we need to change it? What do you think? We can make changes. You're the guy behind the party.
No, I think beat is pretty good. It's like,
Okay.
like actual party beat.
Yeah.
And it's like I would give like 7, 6, 7.
7?
I think
That's not bad.
yeah.
We'll send you some
Yeah.
lyrics and we'll get you to do some singing for us and then we'll get a new song. How about that?
Yeah, I could try that, but I'm not really a good
Okay.
singer, so maybe
We'll
some
work on it.
autotune.
Yeah, we'll get you rapping or something, Artie. We'll see what we can do. Well, Arturs, I really appreciate you joining us. Good luck the rest of the way for the regular season. We'll be following along. And playoffs, man, we can't wait to see you guys play at the Abbotsford Center this year. So good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
There it is. Arturs Silovs joining us there. We had a Arty Party.